Hello, 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 it's finally time for 2.9, and if not for the currently running promotion, I wouldn't be able to actually fully afford the banner. Well, I could afford the base version technically, but... So, here's the dealio. I have a bit over 200 pulls myself, and for the pulls, for the first 10 pulls, the game matches your 10 pull with another 10 pull for free. So technically, if you spend 100 pulls, you get this full outfit because that would be the max pity. I am in line for where technically I could get the full evo of this outfit if I get lucky. I can fudge it by maybe 20-30 pulls because there's always something to buy, but I'm kind of going to be relying on my luck with pulling the outfit. So we're gonna definitely get the base, we're gonna probably get the first 2 evos, and then we're gonna see, depending on, you know, how luck treats me. Regardless on how luck treats me, I will try dyeing her, I will see the makeup on different skin tones, I'll try running in her. I'm very interested in whether the dress being long means that she's gonna put her heel through the back of the dress, because that's kinda an issue with a lot of dresses in Infinity Nikki. Now, mind you, this is kind of a faux ball gown. Like, she's very ball gowny, but she has a window at the front. So I'm wondering if the fact that her skirt is set further back will actually stop this problem from occurring. We're gonna try the decor, we're gonna try the poses, we're gonna try the ability, and just in everything that you get with this highly discounted 5-star. I'm gonna assume that this is gonna be probably one of the most had 5 stars in the game, just because of that wonderful, wonderful discount. And you know what? I ain't even mad. I love the fact that we now have a 5-star that's gonna essentially cost 100 pulls for everybody. I think that's a great thing. Anyway, intro preamble over. I'm gonna see you on the pull screen. Welcome to the pull screen for Florabound Promise. It really rewards you for pulling. Like, I know that Infold is probably running this promotion because of Gamescom, but damn, like, that is very generous. Like, pull and just get so many extra things as well. The division of the pieces is also pretty good. I'm mostly super excited that the sleeves are separate from the dress. And also, I think we have 2 head accessories entirely separately, so you can just wear the giant bow if you wanted to. And we're having heels this time around, but not platforms, which is also quite exciting, because most of the time the shoes are kind of just platforms. Now, mind you, I kind of really like platforms, so I don't mind, but... I'm gonna start clicking skip all. And by the way, the 4-star, she's also quite cute. And now we're gonna... Ooh, bonus 10 draw resonance activated, so that's how it's gonna run. It's gonna like show you that it's like the bonus thing. Which is nice. Hey, sleeves have arrived. Sleeves worth a 20th item though, so I'm setting in here for really shit luck. So, but let's continue going. Can't complain. We do get free pulls, so you know. It is a very pretty animation. Not that it kinda, you know, takes time to actually play, and therefore it's kind of slower, but it still is quite a pretty animation. 19th, damn. The game hates me this time around. I'm judging off the first 2 items. Because I definitely know. It did give me the 4-star twice. So, you know, that's nice. The previous temple, I mean. Where will you be? That's... I think that's also 19. Yeah. My luck is in fun places today. But, you know, what can you do? Hey, we got the angel girl completed. Her piece breakdown is kind of less good from what I saw. Angel girl again. Could I get one double piece, please? At least I'm pretty sure that one was on the 18th pull. But let me just... Where are you? Details. Yeah, what I mean about worst breakdown, I kind of expected the halo to be separate from absolutely everything else, but it isn't. And that's kind of sad, because I'm probably never wearing the halo. But that's fine, because I'm wearing plenty of other things, so, you know. The good news about starting outfit 2 is that I'm about to start collecting refunds. Yeah, see? Surging Ebb. I like those. They really want to give me the 4-star. Like, they don't want me to have the 5-star, but they really want to give me back my 4-star, which is... I'm not gonna complain. The more Surging Ebb, the more extra pulls I'm gonna amass, so... And the next bonus... More 4-stars. This is definitely one 5-star that really doesn't want to come home. It happens. It happens. Sometimes they really do want to come back home, and sometimes they be doing this. Where they're like, how about would you enjoy some max pity? Would some max pity, you know, be a fun thing to have? And you're like, well, no, not really. Okay, so now I think we're skipping the 4-stars because, well, we got both of them technically. I mean, both of the possible evolutions. So now when I press skip all button, that actually goes even faster. I'm still getting the Surging Ebb though, which is kind of what I want. Because that kind of refunds me. So... this is now gonna be... Oh god, where am I? Yeah, I'm at 180. This is gonna be so... Oh boy. She took a while. This is definitely gonna be almost max pity on the dot. Hey! At least she came back home. And I got an Evo. So there's that. But oof. So this was 91st pull. 91st. I was 9 off the... how is it called? Oh boy, my brain. 9 off max pity. Not great. Not great. I do get to collect all of the nice things though. Those flower petals like look, you know, a tiny bit sus. So these ones can only be used for 4-star limited time resonance, which isn't the greatest, but I do want the shepherdess, so I'll take it. But for now, let's continue going. I'm 30 off the next Evo. Oh, that was better. Thank you for that. Okay. I'm eating it. none, but still, not hating it. Was there something else? Oh yeah, I didn't claim my resonance rewards. There's also all of this to claim now. So let's do all the makeup. We're gonna start like really scrounging here. That looks like it will look weird. Because it's like just slightly reddish. So let's just use up the rest of the pulse that I have because I'm friggin' crazy. And then we're gonna see where we're at. I think. So this is gonna be the 3 out of 10, which means that I kinda would need 140. I have 80. So that doesn't bode well. But 120. Like, her max pity is really dropping the second time around. And I think I'm gonna be able to get some pulls of the Surging Ebb as well. So, like, I am investing a lot of faith into all the extra mechanics. I have 50. I need 100. You know, happy things for happy people. I have 30, I need 80. It's getting away from— it's getting closer again. Now I need 60. Oh, we do still have a 20. So let's just put out that 20. And now I need a 40. Off for Mirta to figure out how to pull a 40 out of her ass. Give me a second. I pulled a 20 out of my ass. Does that count? And I only needed to dip into the tiny bit of my stellarites. I will be so unhappy if I actually have to, like, properly dip into my stellarites. Okay, good. Promising. That one was— We're already 4 towards the next max pity. So none here. So now we're 14 in. This is where we should actually start going one by one. So I got one more. And the rest of this will now be my Stellas, which is not ideal, but I got them last time for the ballerina. So it kind of is better than, you know, buying pulls. They're being used exactly what they're supposed to be used for. There we go. We made her come home. We did it. Oh god. Okay. 345 isn't that bad. Technically, it only cost me 245. It's kind of on me for coming up here very, very short. Anyway, time to full evo her. Button go! I like how that's the Swan Gazebo. This is the first time we have been back to Wishfield with these ones. I like that her eyeballs changed color. On the second Evo, the flowers in her dress change color, by the way. On the third one, it seems like they're just glowing. But, well, we'll see. We'll see up close in a second. It's the makeup, and once again, it looks kinda questionable to me. I don't know how pretty that's actually gonna be on a Nikki, because that face makeup is like bit on the heavier side than I actually expected it to be. And of course, plenty of poses. So here's the base version, and like, I guess that makeup on at least white skin tone is really heavy, especially on the cheeks. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna go to this menu, and then let me just properly zoom in. That's the whitest Nikki. I honestly wouldn't wear it on the whitest Nikki just because that blush looks awkward. She looks better on like the regular no skin tone selected Nikki that Nikki normally is at. This is a bit more tanned Nikki. Honestly, looks quite pretty with this skin color. By this point, the brightness is starting to overtake the blush, so that's a bit of a worry. And this is on the darkest skin tone. It's almost like both the lipstick and the eyeshadow is like too bright for her. She looks a tiny bit awkward. But at the same time, she kind of looks awkward in the palest Nikki as well. Because of the rosy cheeks, mostly. And this is the final Evolutions makeup. I gotta say, damn that bow! It's very shiny. I'm gonna turn her around in a second for you, but for now we're talking about the makeup. I really like the color changing lenses. Probably not gonna use them, funnily enough, but I think that is quite an amusing thing. She looks a bit awkward. Why does she look less awkward on the paler Nikki in here than on the regular Nikki? This is more tanned Nikki. The problem area for me is this, like, eye bit, because it's starting to look a bit muddy. And on the darkest Nikki, she actually looks decent. I think that lipstick actually suits her. And now, as promised, look at that bow. Look at the difference from the starting bow. So that's like the starting bow, the glow-up bow, the first Evo bow, the second Evo bow, and then look at the final bow. The final bow is so long. Now, my second question is... Yeah, I don't... Can I... Yeah, I can switch off the effects. So if you switch off the effects on Final Evo, this is what you're left with the flowers. They don't seem quite as color changey as this one. Yeah, this one is like full on whatever majigga she's doing over here. And you definitely can't switch this off as an effect, so that's something to know. It's like, it's woo! Woo! Now, my second most important question is this. Because people are identifying this as a modesty panel, but she seems to be a bit more incorporated into the dress. So what I want to do is to just go into dyeing this, select everything. Okay, you can change her a little bit. Changing her to darker color, I can actually make it more clear about what is the dress and what isn't. Because like you can see that there's like a mesh panel right here, and then it has like a bit more fabric running above. While if she is in light colors, you kinda can't see that. Now my question is, the thing that runs above here, is it different from the mesh? Like, are those two separate dye pieces? Also, I just noticed, this isn't a bug, but her flowers is kind of doing the shimmery thing. Even on the base dress. You can see them do the color changey thing. I wonder if that's intended. So from what I'm seeing in the dye channels, the mesh panel and the thing above it is one and the same. So you unfortunately can't color them separately. Because this way it kind of merges into her and it looks kind of nice. But if you select a very dark color, then the line of what is the fabric underneath versus what's the fabric above is very, very obvious. We're just gonna do full color coloring for the base dress, just so that we can see what colors and what doesn't. And I can already tell you that those flowers are gonna be a bitch if you're gonna be working with them, because they're very color changey. So you're good luck matching them. They're probably not gonna match. I think on lighter colors it's better than on darker colors. On darker colors it becomes very... the effect becomes very obvious. It's not something that you can toggle off from what I saw as well. So your flowers are just permanently color changing. And if you, for example, wanted to do black, you can see how this doesn't kind of look... it doesn't even look like a true black on this. And then you are left with this kind of muddiness on the flowers. Now, mind you, it might be that some other Evo dyes better than base. She dyes fairly well in white. But her base outfit is fairly light. And normally it is the lighter colors that you would want to dye over because the dye is a bit more of an overlay. I'm gonna try the yellow one. Okay, the yellow one is doing this very weird thing. Can you see how shimmery her flowers is normally? If you want to dye those flowers, you should do it off the second Evo. Which is a bit expensive if you weren't planning to go for the second Evo. That's 230 pulls. Well, 130 pulls from your account. So... yeah, even on white, the second Evo dyes so much better. Now, I think you kind of want the second Evo for black and white as well, so that might not be the problem, but... these flowers are shimmering far more in the same pattern and in the same color, which makes you able to actually properly dye this. In my opinion, pure black is still producing some sort of very, very muddy result. We can also click into to see it. Oh god, yeah, pure black on this dress looks goddamn awful. This is not what I would call black. It's kind of washed off, honestly. You can probably do it okay with a color wheel, but that's very expensive. White will do. If you wanted to turn this into a wedding dress, it probably is not gonna be like a problem. That will probably work very well. So, FYI, you wanna dye this thing, dye it off her second Evo. Which is, you know, not great. If you didn't wanna go for the second Evo. There was one more test that I wanted to do. Do you remember how with the ballerina decal, it was cut off really not nicely with most modesty panels? I just want to see what that looks like on here. Yeah, it's not the greatest. I mean, the fade is a lot less offensive than on some pieces. But just bear in mind that if you're gonna be wearing anything that goes like past this point, any low-hanging amulets or something like this chest piece, you will encounter this fade. I will say it is a lot less offensive than what they used to do, which kind of wasn't really a fade, it was more like a straight cut, which just looked extra awkward. The fade can look sorta pretty because it is a fade and this part is dyeable, so at least that is nice. But it's still, it still looks a bit awkward. As I suspected, the ball gowns actually run better than a lot of other dresses. The fabric is further away from Nikki's feet, so it actually might be harder for you to clip it with her own heels. Mostly I tested with the shoes that the outfit already came with, as if I change the shoes and Nikki starts kicking through the fabric, that's kind of my own fault. But with some outfits, what I found is that she actually kicks through the fabric, even with the shoes that the outfit came with. So let me try a more offensive heel, something like a big platform, to see if she still passes the running test. I honestly feel like she does. I'm testing her with Floral Rebirth's heel right now, as it tends to be the most offensive one. I think that the fabric at the back is kinda thick, yo, that Nikki will actually have problems putting her foot through it. Which is kinda what you want. You don't want Nikki putting her foot through it. You want it to be hard. Okay, time to test the final Evo. Final Evo shorter version is far more of a danger noodle. That is a bit of an awkward kick. But the fabric is pretty loose and high, so I have hope. It's hard to see. I think she's just gonna bend the dress pretty weirdly. Yeah, I think it bends. Which is much preferable than just her putting the heel through. And as always, we should put her in a platform, because those are the most dangerous heels to go with. Where is the platform that I want? Gosh darn it. I have a lot of You see how Floral Rebirth's platform has like a hook almost at the end of her? That really does not play nice with quite a few out. Please, Momo, I'm testing my run. No, I think that she bends her dress. This is not the prettiest of images to stare at when you're running, because the dress does bend. But bending the dress is kind of preferable to, well, just pushing through the dress with the heel. Still, I think I like the running animation on the non-short version more. She kicks the front kind of awkwardly as well. But mind you, nowhere near as bad as Lion's outfit, which was the last patch, one of the 5 stars. That one did a full flippity floopy on the front. Fun fact, her shoes trigger this animation. So if you don't want the animation playing every single time when you enter the wardrobe, just put her in a different pair of shoes. Yeah, she looks less awkward running with more fabric. Which is funny, because we're also gonna be playing a bit of a floor sweeper on the forest's floor. Like, that is a lot of dress drag. That's okay. I'm sure that the jungle will appreciate the cleaning that we're gonna be giving to it. The 2 front pieces, as well, are a bit awkward upon running. Just the way that it octopuses. But yeah, this isn't too bad. This isn't too bad at all. Also, in case you were wondering, the sleeves are outerwear. How about we try some poses? Fruity Thoughts makes her summon a giant strawberry. I am not entirely sure how usable this is gonna be for regular photography. I suppose when the strawberry's in the air, maybe. A lot of these poses, what I'm looking for is any kind of nice freeze frames. This one is kind of ruined by the fact that Nikki is holding a giant strawberry. Because it's just like permanently in her arms before the animation ends. Oh, this one's good. Ooh. Oh my. Okay. you have a full-on lie-down animation. And good news, it doesn't seem that the Nikki is trying to disappear in case you try to upskirt her. Which I know is a very, very odd thing to say, because normally you would want upskirt protection. The thing is, in Infinity Nikki, upskirt protection likes to fire off at all the most randomest moments. And the poses that have it end up being unusable, because like you will just be like lying at this angle, and then the game will start phasing your Nikki out. But this one's good. Mind you, you want to be creative with it, as she is lying in the air, but you could, suppose, turn it a bit. I'm just gonna let it play. I'm not super a fan of anything that summons an extra thing for Nikki to interact with. I'm mostly looking for angles in which that extra thing that she summons will just be out of view. I kind of like the sunlight bit. I don't like the random orb bit. Like this is kind of pretty. Like to just have like a giant spotlight on Nikki. It's when the orb comes in that this becomes a lot less usable for me. So there are uses that I can see myself having with these poses. It's not like the best poses that I've ever received, but poses are also very subjective. That's the Momo Cloak, in case you want to look at it up close. I did set her ability, but for ability testing I'll have to go into the jungles of Itzaland, and I don't want to do that, so we're doing everything else first. So the decoration is... I think it's a giant flowery bed. I am not super a fan about how fabric spreads in this game while she's sitting down. And you will be super upskirting her with this skirt whenever you're sitting down, because it's kinda floating away from her body. It is kinda pretty. I don't tend to use decorations all that much though. If you wanted to, you could like build a foresty flower shack in your house and use this as a bed. I think that would work. This just switches off the menu so that I could take pictures. How do I get... Let me off. Thank you. And this is the red version, which you get if you get Evo 2. It does the exact same thing, but now it's red, in case, you know, you wanted to know. Just kinda, yep, just sniffing the roses. Oh, this one's a bit different. Oh, this one floats. Oh, it's better when she's floating. So, surprise! The second decor item has a different animation. And Nikki's better at not sitting down. So, if you wanna... This one would feel kind of more worth it for me, but also it comes with this very weird migraine aura effect, which I think is supposed to be a rainbow. It's not the most comfortable for me to be looking at, because I am too used to migraines, so I don't associate that with anything nice. Anyway, ability next. So, this one is a fairly bizarre thing. It should collect butterflies around us. Well, collect bugs around us, I think. And then use them to power other abilities? That being said, there's definitely bugs around me right now. What does... Oh, G... spawns the butterflies that follow you around? Okay. My question is, can I...
Such beautiful weather.
Yeah, I can
Perfect for a walk
capture
by the sea.
everything that I stored in the butterfly. So there's one butterfly around here somewhere. Did I just eat a whole crow? Well, I ate something. But yeah, those butterflies spawn because you're sucking in bugs in and around you. And then you can use your bug catching ability to capture those bugs. But the main selling point of this was
Morning, Momo. Inhale
that
deeply,
when
breathe
it comes
in.
to
The scent of morning dew is still lingering in the air.
Ixalan's abilities that use energy, when you run out of energy, you can use bugs. So this is one of my abilities that uses energy. That's from Ixalan. Let's see how that works. Is there any kind of visual indication? Oh, there is. There's like a little flower that's deflowering itself over here. So
Wind
yeah,
carries
that's
stories from afar, along with lingering thoughts.
that powers your abilities for a while longer. In case you wanted that. I don't really see myself using that, so let me just eat those bugs and switch her off. So yeah, that's how it works. You can also work for things like gigantification, but with gigantification you can unlock like infinite energy, so it doesn't feel quite as much of a something that you need. She's alright. I would mostly consider the looks when it comes to these sort of things. By the way, just so you know, final evolution doesn't die very well. Those flowers, man. They're gonna be constantly popping off over there. I mean, she doesn't die terrible, but as you can... those flowers are gonna be a problem die spot on any Evo. I don't think that black looks the way that black is supposed to on any of them. This color looks closer to black than black does. But the flowers do be standing out. White seems to work on practically absolutely everything, so I don't actually understand how does white work, but black doesn't. Anyway, just so you know, if you are planning to dye these, the flowers will be your problem child. You can switch off the effects on this though. So thankfully there's that. On the previous versions you sorta can't. So if you wanted some dead flowers, you can do that with the final Evo. Otherwise I would recommend the second Evo for dyeing, as the first one felt the worstest. But yeah, I wouldn't really be getting her for the ability. I would just be getting her for the looks. I think that she looks alright. The amount of problems that any banner can have in this game, I think that she's alright on not having all that much problems. For Baby's first discounted banner, this would be honestly a 7 or an 8, but that's kind of individual, and I'm gonna leave that for everybody personally. to judge for themselves. So this is where my yap is gonna end. You saw how she looks dyed, how she doesn't look dyed. You saw what her ability does. You saw what her decorations are. You saw what the makeup looks like. So hopefully this will help you make up your own mind on whether or not you're getting this banner. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for my Patreon supporters. And toodaloo for now. Mind you, I have another video coming today. We're just gonna be going shopping and seeing everything that's new that's purchasable during this patch. Like, you know, store and stuff. So look forward to that. But toodaloo for now.